It's been great. Now, how a bit of poetry then for afternoon tea. Really pleased to be joined by West Midlands poet Femi Abidogun, who recently published his second collections of poems. The title poem was written with Nelson Mandela in mind, and as soon as we heard about it, we had to welcome him here to the show to talk about it. Femi, thank you so much for coming into the show.
Thank you so much.
And the book is called That Long Walk. Let's talk a little bit, if we can, about the title poem, which we've been told is written with Nelson Mandela in mind. Kind of how did that all come about then?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the program.
No worries.
Yeah, the title was inspired after the death of Nelson Mandela, actually.
Oh.
Based on his life story, he's quite an exemplary figure.
Yeah.
Shortly after his death, there was so much information about him apart from the ones we had access to, there's so much coming around, so thought about it, this was such a great man, much greater than we actually thought he was, and I felt inspired to write something out. Started writing. I didn't just do one poem, I wrote a couple of poems
Yes.
actually, and that particular one traces his life story right from the birth all the way to struggles, his time in prison, all the way to death. And it's not just about his story, actually. It also talks about the lessons learned from his life. Like I said earlier, his life was quite exemplary. And it's something people should aspire to do. And even if it's just a fraction, a minute fraction of what he did while he was alive, we should, as human beings.
How long did it take you to do the research and put pen to paper and then go into your imagination to bring out those words, which is the long walk?
Right, I probably took a couple of weeks, because when the man died, there was actually a buzz, on TV, on the radio, on the newspapers, you had so much written about him. Prior to that, you thought you knew everything about Nelson Mandela, but with the days going by, you discovered one new fact after the other. So I'll probably say days or weeks, I'll put a series of poems together, and I probably did this in a couple of a few days to a few weeks.
I think for a lot of people, and Doug coming on this as well, Nelson Mandela, no matter what your background, no matter where you're from, such a prominent figure, isn't he? Someone that's inspired a lot of people.
Absolutely. I don't think you can fail to be inspired by Nelson Mandela and the struggles that he went through, and the absolute hope and optimism that he kept throughout his life, especially those dark times in prison, to be able to come out, to be able to unite a nation, to bring together both divides of apartheid, and to unite a nation so proudly and so defiantly is absolutely an inspiration to people across the world.
Now, Femi, you were actually born in Nigeria, and you're a member of Birmingham-based Writers Without Borders. So how is Birmingham or the West Midlands treating you then?
It's not too bad, it's been good, the experience has been good. The group I belong to, Writers Without Borders, like you said, we hold regular meetings every month. We have the opportunity based on that to be invited to events, interact with people, network with other writers, not just within the Midlands, but also outside. So, because of that, those engagements and events, obviously you get to meet people and you get to learn more and get better as a poet and as a writer.
Now, we've been talking about your poem. Do you mind reciting some of the poem for us?
Yeah, I can do that. Which would you like?
Tell us which one you think that best represents your book at the moment. That you think that you're going to get most out of your book, and this is why you should pick it.
You know what I'll do instead?
Go on.
I'll do the title poem.
Yes.
Do that then.
Like you all know, the book is titled That Long Walk, and inspired, like I said, by Nelson Mandela. It's on page 48 of the book, and here it goes.
I've got it here if you'd like. That long walk?
Yeah, that long walk. Here it goes. No one could tell exactly how far he would go, when long ago he was born in Vezo. Not too many even knew the next couple of years at Kunu would be the necessary early steps of that extraordinary trek. An extended journey had started. A century shy of 5, it eventually lasted. A travel filled with ups, downs, and hardships untold, as they tread through paths previously untold. Roads that made him tell the world that it always seems impossible until it's done. That the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. And that one was still very much imprisoned if hatred and bitterness were still harbored. A victor, an emancipator, a true leader, an inspiration, a pathfinder for us all, and for anyone who truly desires to know how to carry on. Despite numerous hurts and innumerable pitfalls, he taught us to work hard, persevere, give, forgive, and get the move on. Now gone via Kuno, the early homeland he once knew, haven't fully paid his own dues. Madiba, to you, we continually say thank you as we take a final deserved bow from what was more than just a short promenade. To you, we have also given our goodbyes, celebrating your freedom from that long, exhaustive, but ultimately rewarding long walk. Thank you.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, I have to say. We've got all of our producers in the other studio as well listening to that. So the name of the book is That Long Walk. I know you're actually going to be doing a book signing on Saturday the 18th of July at Harborne Library. What's the website if anyone wants to get further details then? Because the book is out now, isn't it? It's available to buy.
Yeah, well, you can get it on amazon.co.uk and you can also get directly from our publishers. They're based in Nottingham. It's Thanks Publications, one word, .co.uk.
Fantastic. I'm going to spell your last name as well, just if anyone says, okay, I want to go online and find the book. That Long Walk, Femi Abidogun. Thank you so much. And I think this is what's fantastic about the West Midlands. We have such a mix of people, groups and cultures, and it's really lovely when we get to talk about it and celebrate it on the show. So thank you so much for coming in, Femi. No, thank you so much for coming in. And also a big thank you to Doug as well for popping in. We'll get an update on how we go with those high inch hills. And we'll be talking in the next half an hour to the wild flowers.